Happy New Year, everyone. Professor Maple here. We are back in the UFO on Maple's World. I hope everyone had good holidays. It's been a while since the last episode I recorded, even though I've kind of released one within the last few months. And we've got some interesting stuff going on. I'm going to move forward with some plans for the base here. As you can see, we've got something going on there, something going less on there, and then something really going on around here. So this whole hexagon base idea is always for me been inspired by Settlers of Catan, because Minecraft is very much a resource-driven video game, and Settlers is very much a resource-driven board game. It's probably my favorite board game, even though even with the expansions, it can get very samey at times. Um, so, as you know, if you know Settlers of Catan, and if you're aware of my previous base attempts and previous series that were maybe cut short due to time constraints and whatnot, I like building. I want to realize this idea of having a Settlers of Catan base, because the two games are very similar. So we have our island moat going around here, with exception to there, because I want to put a proper entrance out the front of the base. And so that hex will probably be part of it, as well as this little open space here. I'll probably terraform it. And then, yeah, so we've got our junglewood hex, our birch hex, our spruce hex, acacia, oak, and dark oak. This one here, not that one. I'm going to decorate those to match the 5 different Settlers of Catan resources and the desert. So that'll be pretty cool. We've also gotten rid of the beacon pyramid. That's actually, well, I still have it. It's down below there. So these 2 gray blocks in the middle, those are glass leading down to the iron pyramid. And then I'll put some beacons in there later, probably. Might spoil the view of the inside of the base, but might be convenient. Who knows? I also did some work over here. We've got a. Actually, let's fix that. Hold on a sec, because we now have a different light source on that hex. Oops. Because I had apparently magma blocks, although they do store a bit of light levels from a torch. They don't store them after you. I'm not sure if it's you unload the chunk or you unload the world or whatever, but after a certain amount of time or certain stuff you do, they will not store light levels from a light source anymore. One more. There we go. So now I have to find something else to do that with. I've used pumpkins, as you can see here, so that should do for now. So that's going to be the wood farm / mushroom farm hex. We've put in on the side there my design. I'm pretty sure I've shown you before. Now we've got all these prismarine hexes with the ocean, the moat around us. That's why we needed that guardian farm so bad. But I do find that the stairs, the waterlogged stairs, they have this weird visual glitch. I'm sure you're seeing on the screen here, where it kind of flashes with the water texture and the prismarine texture when you move. It's a visual glitch, like it's still just holding the water. And it seems to be, actually I didn't notice that before, but it seems to be more just like further away stuff that happens with. But yeah, so that's a thing I wasn't expecting, but I'm gonna have to just live with for the time being until it gets fixed. Right, so yeah, as I mentioned, we've got the jungle, birch, spruce, acacia, oak, and dark oak hexes that are going to be the 5 different resources, which for those of you who know Settlers of Catan are going to be ore, sheep, or cattle, depending on livestock, depending on what kind of edition of Settlers it is. We've got a desert, we've got brick, we've got wood, and we've got wheat. I think wheat's the one I haven't mentioned yet. So we've got those. We've got 6 spots. We've got a desert. That will be one of them as well. You can't really get much from the desert other than actually maybe Settlers of Catan is racist because the robber comes out of the desert. I'm not sure how I feel about that now. I don't feel good about that. Um, realizations aside, though, one of the other things I have this in this world is a lot of stuff that I haven't quite finished yet, like this hex here, which I have put in more work in since I've finished the Guardian farm now, thankfully, but it's still not done. And also that sugarcane farm, we've got the cow farm hex down below that needs finishing. We've got skeleton farm that needs to be repaired since the update. We've got all these sort of unfinished projects. Oop, I think I missed that. Hit the pressure plate. And because of that, I've got what I'm going to try and do is for an episode or two focus on one of the settlers hexes, and maybe the other half of the episode work on an unfinished project. And I'll mix it up. I don't want to do unfinished projects every episode, but probably every other at least, and add a few newer things in there as well, newer builds that aren't settlers related or base related or whatever, so that we can we can keep from the monotony of revisiting all these things we've already kind of visited before. So these hexes up here will no longer be tree farms, as nice and color coded as they are. That needs to end. And the tree farm is now also a mushroom farm down there. So just grow a bunch of stuff amongst those jack-o'-lanterns. And we don't have these. I find growing things up here, especially with the spruce trees, sometimes you chop a spruce tree down and the little jack-o'-lantern covers disappear because they decay with the natural occurring leaves. And yeah, that's a bit frustrating. So we're gonna not do that anymore. I think oh no, I landed on a carpet. That's what that was. It sounds like cactus growing. And then just while we're here, let's check in on the mushroom farm. Got a half a stack of brown mushrooms and almost as many red ones. So that's doing pretty well. That's doing pretty darn well. I no longer damage myself walking across here. This is good. All right, we're gonna actually get to doing something now, and we're back. All right, what are we doing now? We're gonna take a look at the to-do list behind me here. Big old wall that I've stored all the projects that I want to start or get completed on here. I also you can tell it's Christmas Day and I'm recording. Done my family stuff and whatnot. I've got all these really nice green and red chests around. Actually, most of them are green because I mostly just have double chests. But there's the odd like ender chest or whatever that's still red. There's another one over there. Anyway, so what have we? We've got a few things to sort of complete, like the like mining the hexes. That's gonna take a while. I'm not gonna count that as one of the unfinished projects because that's ongoing for like ever basically. What else do we have? We've got the settlers hexes. That's actually on the board. That's a thing we're doing. Let's see, cow farm. Cow farm I have to finish. Hostile mob farm. Now originally I was gonna do something. There's a design by Daedalus 822 where it uses the sort of collision of bigger mobs like ghasts and slime, like the big slimes, the level 3 slimes, to push mobs off of their spawning platforms and stuff. However, I find that using ghasts for the up and down elevator that I'll link the video in the description if I can find it. But there's a video he showed during some of the snapshots, and there's a ghast in a bubble vader going up and down, shoving all these mobs on off a platform. It doesn't work now. I've tested it out. The ghast dies if it spends too much time in the water, even though there's a bubble column. So that doesn't work. But I spent basically an afternoon sorting out a new mob farm. Well, new, not really like new concept. It's not a design. It's a design that's not new in concept, but is made to fit one of these. Well, not one of these hexes. These are going to be settlers hexes. But I'll show you where. Ooh, I almost didn't think my elytra. We're gonna go in this back corner here where it's kind of dark, and I know mobs spawn. Slimes might even spawn here. I think more on that hex, but the chunks and the hexes don't really line up because they're different shapes and stuff. So you get a little bleed over from one to another. I've started installing the item sorter, which is going to sort out all the mob well, most of the mob drops, and then we've also got overflow protection. This dropper goes right into a I almost lost that block. It goes right into a cactus, as you can see there. So any overflow is not going to create any extra lag. It's not going to back the system up. Not that it's super important that I need to protect from that because we're using the impulse sorter. But still, it's better than. Well, I guess eventually the system could back up, because I'm gonna for the most part leave the bulk storage here, and then just bring little bits and pieces of each drop that I need up to the item room up there. But yeah, for the most part, it's gonna stay down here. Because I'm gonna have access to this. The whole point of me doing this farm right now is that for future projects, I really want to have more rockets, and I'm running out of those, and I need lots of gunpowder. So we need to kill more creepers. We need to get the gunpowder from them, and this farm, once it's put in here, is going to help us do that. So the reason I'm putting in this item sorter first is because I've already built it in creative mode. I have it in my test world. It's ready to go. I've tested it out, and instead of kind of making room for the item sorter and then building the farm and then realizing, oh, I've made it one block too low or whatever, and now I can't fit the item sorter in, I decided we're building this first. I need more chests though, so I think what we're gonna do is, in order to get more chests for this thing, is we're gonna do a little bit of a time lapse, and we're gonna get rid of some of these trees from probably the first hex we're gonna work on up top here. We're gonna kind of mix these two projects together a little bit. And we're back. Oh, this hex is clear. I think this is going to be the first one I work on. And there's still a couple saplings falling down here, but what do how well do you think we did here? There were what, 3, 4 double trees and a skinny baby? We got 3, 6, 5 full stacks and another 11 blocks there. That should be plenty for making some chests. It looks so weird with this texture. We also got more jungle saplings back than per tree than I think I usually get. So that's usually more so dark oak trees, but definitely jungle trees. I usually find I don't get quite the same yield back. So that's pretty good. Alright guys, so we've got our items sort of filled in here. Got all these lovely green chests still. I also have, and it's kind of labeled here as a trash can. This is, again, there's a cactus underneath, which I keep forgetting is there, so I keep hearing that sort of like cottony something grew sound. That's the cactus growing. Basically what we've got here is what, 2 chests for gunpowder, 2 chests for bones, a chest for string. Maybe I might make that 2, depending. I'm going to keep the same number of things. Oh, hi slimes. But maybe just shift some of these witch drops over or something like that. And then I also have redstone, glowstone, rotten flesh, and then kind of like the catch-all. So once this thing fills, once this row of the, or column of the items sort of fills up, we're going to, that's when the overflow protection kicks in. Hey slime, how are ya? So these probably go in here, yep, and that's where that furnace went. Good. I've been testing it out with the items that I have, so I actually had to break apart some glowstone to test a couple of these out. But yeah, it seems to be working well. And now up here you can see what is the killing chamber. We're going to kill all the mobs with lava blocks. The magma hardened, what's it called? Magma blocks, those ones. Not lava blocks. Don't use lava blocks. Don't build with lava. Don't make lava structural. Make magma structural. Now, the one thing that we're going to run into is witches. Witches can drink their little fire protection potion and not get damaged by magma blocks, and they can basically do that infinitely. So, I've got this little spot here along the item highway sort of thing, the item transportation system for the drops, which will basically funnel through this opening here. And I'm going to manually slash at the witches, get them to clear out. They should get pushed mostly to the front here, since they'll have other mobs kind of coming in behind them. And then of course, I guess either I might have to fill up my inventory so I don't pick up their drops, but they'll get sorted and whatnot anyway. So we've also got our furnaces keeping the, oh, what? Oh, more slimes. Holy, okay. Where the heck did you come from? Weird. So yeah, we've got our furnaces limiting our lag created by these open hoppers up top, so now they're not as open. I think droppers or dispensers or something like that, I think those are better at that, is my understanding, but I figured, I can't remember which one. I don't want to, if it becomes an issue I can look it up, but I don't think it's necessary. I think the difference at this scale is kind of minimal, so we're going with furnaces there, and we'll be able to choppy any witches from there. I've got this maintenance hatch. I also have a little window to see all the items come through inside there. Not that it's super needed because, well, you see this level is going to be kind of our roof. It's going to be made out of the magma blocks. because we're gonna have the mob floor right above us here, so we're not exactly going to be able to jump up here and just stroll along the edge and see what's going on. So a little bit of glass here and there to help me sort things out. Actually, I might replace that with glass too. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Cool. That's what we're doing. There. Just make that easier for me. And then nothing will spawn on that either. That's good. What else have we got? We've got this glowstone block here, keeping things lit up. I also have, oh yeah, build theme. I think we're gonna go for like an industrial kind of theme here. And this guy's gonna damage me if he touches me, so we're gonna do that. I might keep this part open actually. Like I might cover up the magma and the ice and whatnot there, but I think and the bottom part of the magma is going to be like covering the majority of the hex here, so there's going to be a lot of covering up to do, a lot of roof action going on. I might just, especially since that hex and that hex and these other hexes along here, they're going to be gone eventually, so we got to make sure to kind of decorate those sides, make them look nice. Basically, it's going to be kind of open concept. Surprise, surprise! It's one of my builds. Going to have some supports. I've got some ideas for them, but I haven't really played around with it yet, so we'll see how that goes. And then they'll hold up the farm so it doesn't just look like it's just hanging in the air, sort of in some weird way it shouldn't, because it's going to be very, very top heavy. And actually, it's kind of funny that this is going to be the main source of gunpowder for rockets, because we also have the main source of the paper for the rockets right above there. That's the sugarcane farm up there, which I think I have set off. I think I've got too much sugarcane to handle right now. Get this XP before it goes away or something. So interesting sort of coincidence there. Basically, the reason I put this whole farm here is because it's going to be nice and low. This is as low as my base gets before we start. Well, not start going to bedrock. You see we're at level 11 there. Generally my mining level, but instead of going all the way down to bedrock, I figured we'll just kind of keep things on this level so I can build easier. If I, for some reason, have to build something underneath, I've got plenty of room for that. And we are down. Ooh, it's raining. We're down, so that's our item room up there. I'm not sure you guys really see the base from this angle here. We've got the slime farm in front of us here. Nothing spawning right now, but I heard something in there earlier. This hex, I'm not sure what I'll do with it. It was originally going to be a sheep farm hex, but with the changes they're going to make when they add the pandas in for 1.14, I shouldn't need tons and tons and tons and tons of sheep. So that'll change. Oh, hi, Endermantle. Endermizzle. Oh yeah, down here because it's raining, right? Yes. So imagine most of this hex kind of taken up with like this diamond shape of magma blocks and a big glass tube. Glass? No, glass is gonna let light in. I'm probably gonna close it off, but I'm not sure what with yet. Has to look industrial, so maybe iron. That's a lot of iron though. I'll figure out a thing. Anyway, so once we come back here, we should have more of this floor done, and hopefully water and stuff's kind of sorted out for it. Not sure how I'm feeling about it. I did a mock-up of a small portion of kind of what this sort of diamond-shaped can thing is going to look like. Canister? Canister is probably more accurate. Making noise back there, buddy. Holy. Anyway, now I like the idea of having a band of the stairs around the bottom. I think that's cool. It's gonna be kind of like a diamond shape, so we have to be kind of like we're not making a cylinder, so don't think of it as like a pop cannon. I just have my mob sounds turned up too loud, I think. I say that now and then I'm gonna hear a creeper later and it'll save my life or something. But anyway, yeah, I think this band of the stone brick at the bottom is maybe too tall. I think the stairs are sufficient. Maybe that row could be replaced with iron, and we can kind of go from there. I might also see about mixing in some like light gray concrete in there as well. Maybe that'll look interesting. We'll take a look at it. Okay, so we've got those in place. We've taken out that stone brick. We haven't taken too much more fire damage yet. And yes, that looks, I like that better. That looks much better. Get out of my face, slimes. I swear there's so many of these. Alright. Yeah, I'm liking that. Might, again, throw in a darker, maybe even the dark gray might look nice there. We'll see. Anyway, I'm also gonna have to, once that's done, figure out where I'm gonna put the supports. Isn't that weird about Minecraft? It's the one anything where you like build a thing and then you build the supports afterwards. It's like, this looks weird hanging here. I better make it look like it's attached, basically. Yeah, no, this is good. I like it. I like the direction we're going in here, and I think we're good to move forward. I think something might be wrong here. I think something is seriously wrong here. Okay, so we've got, this is the center of the hex, which the farm is meant to be centered on. That's the other side where I measured the center of the hexagon there. That's the center of our mob tube, or death hole. Yeah, that might be an issue. Which, to be fair, I guess really only means we have to move this walkway over by one, and then that bottom part of the water stream and stuff over by one. Really, that, I guess, grand scheme of things, if that's what's wrong with it, that's not actually too bad. So I think we're just gonna keep going, and if I have to move it, I'll move it. Actually, I thought it was, before I started recording, I thought it was a lot worse, but now that I've talked it through, I think we're all right. Okay, so I've got the first side of water in, and yeah, we're definitely gonna have to move that murder hole there. All right, so we're gonna have to check in on that progress a little later. I'm over at our next project, which we're not gonna get too started on. We're more just gonna think about this episode quickly at the end here. I am kind of, the elytra didn't work too well. I didn't quite get to it as soon as I was hoping to, but yeah, this is going to be our clay hex. And I'm thinking about different ideas. I'm going to throw on screen a kind of a picture of a hex or multiple settlers hexes, just from not the current printing of the game, but still the one just before it, not the older one, because that's just what I have. And I've found that the clay hexes on there, they're kind of boring. Mind you, they're small, so to put a whole lot of detail isn't all that, doesn't work too well. So that I think is part of why that is. But I want this to be an interesting hexagon here. I want there to be, I've got a list here. I want to put a building on it. Doesn't have to be like a building. It could be like a minecart track or something like that. It doesn't have to be like have a door and windows and stuff, but it probably will be. I might think of some Western style stuff to go in there. I also wanted to have a river or a creek. Growing up as a kid, I often found clay when I was playing in creeks and whatnot. So small streams, that sort of thing. So that to me, I feel is necessary. It doesn't have to necessarily be flowing water, but I definitely want something thin because I found down at the in the garden hex there that the pond kind of took up a large amount of the hex, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I want there to be room for other things on here. I also want to have kind of show that resources are being taken from this hexagon. So some sort of like mine or whatever. Uh, what you will see on the hexes in Settlers games is sort of almost like this. Well, depending on what edition you have. The edition I have, it kind of shows little like paths and like ridges where people are extracting clay and well, not doesn't show the people themselves. People are in cities, and that's another thing is that because there's not really any room for an entire freaking city on the corners here, I'm gonna try and make the hexes themselves look populated. So that's what we're gonna do there. So again, in this case, the building is going to be like a residential kind of deal, depending on how that goes. And then I also, if I can fit it in here, I want to try a custom tree. Not sure if it'll might be jungle to keep with the theme here, but I'm not entirely sure. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not even sure if any of this grass will stay. I definitely want it to be less flat than this, but I'm not really sure much more than that. So anyway, so stay tuned. Next time we're going to work on this hex and then see what progress we've made on the mob farm down way down behind me there. If you like this video, leave a like, maybe subscribe if you want to see the next one. Those always help. I don't know. I'm not really in this for the numbers, so help is kind of irrelevant. But if you want to do it, go ahead. No one's gonna stop you. Other than that, have a good now, have a good later. It's been a really long time since I've done an outro, so I hope this is succinct enough. And see you next episode. Goodbye.